Hello everybody, Good Review Surplus here. Today I'm with MS Gas Mask Collector to bring you a very cool video about World War I through modern day chemical warfare. Both of us have brought gas masks from our collection from the different time periods to show you the evolution of chemical warfare. But without further ado, let's start off with World War I. As you can see, I have three masks in front of me: the M2, the GM17, and the World War I US gas mask. Each of these function in a different way that made them useful. But starting off with the GM17 right here, this gas mask was one of the most effective of World War I due to it having a removable filter and replaceable eye lenses. It having a removable filter is what made it such a good mask of its time, as you did not have to throw it out after its use. And here's what the mask looks like without the filter on it. Looking at the back of the mask, you can see the strap system. The springs on this one still do work, allowing it to be more elastic and fit over your head a little bit better. And as you can see, this gas mask was also carried in a metal canister. But now we're going to take a look at the World War I US gas mask. This gas mask, similar to the GM17, also has a removable filter, although there are a few extra steps you need to do before you can remove the filter on this one. So changing this filter is a lot different from changing the GM17's. So what you want to start off by doing is you would unravel this tape right here, pull the hose off of the filter, and then you'd put a new filter in its place by sliding this right back over the little metal thread right here, and then you'd retape it. But other than that, this mask was just as effective as the GM17. As you can see, the mask straps are a lot different from the GM17's, as there is no elastic bits on them to allow them to stretch over your head, which is why this mask comes in a variety of sizes. And this mask was carried in a canvas bag. Last but not least is the World War I French M2 gas mask. Now, if you've seen any of my other videos on it, you'll know that this mask is a very rare piece to have in a collection, which is why I'm happy to be able to show it to you today in a chemical warfare video, as it is a really good example of a very good quality disposable mask. But even though this mask is disposable, it was still a good quality mask, and it still functioned very well. So a lot of people ask about how this mask functions. The way it functions is it's kind of like a gas hood, but not in its entirety. The way this mask worked is it has a bunch of layered cloth and fabrics that are soaked in chemicals and then covered with this canvas right here. As you can see, the strap system is also a lot different from the other masks, as for the top of your head, these are the straps, and to adjust it, you would just tighten this belt buckle right here around your neck, which would tighten the mask to your face. And just like the GM17, it also has a neck strap. And similar to the World War I US gas mask, it is also carried in a canvas bag. And here's the back of the bag. This concludes the World War I segment of the video. Now onto the World War II segment with MS Gas Mask Collector.
Thank you, Goodman, and today I'll be talking about World War II gas masks. First, I'm going to start with American, then German, then the Japanese. So, let's get to it. The first mask I'd like to talk about is my World War II Navy Mark V. It is not the best of Navy masks. They have made better now and currently, but it is a good mask for World War II. The XLF port also worked as a voice diaphragm, which is always good for gas masks to have, so you could hear each other while you're in a gas mask, because gas masks do have the tendency to stifle talking. It is a tube design, which is, some people like them, some people don't. I personally like tube designs because you can put the filter out of your way when you're doing something, and this one hanging behind your back instead of in front of you. So if you bent over, the filter wouldn't swing in front of you, and it stayed behind you. So it's out of the way if you're doing something. But I can't say too much about that mask because of how it is packaged. The next mask I'd like to talk about is my civilian adult medium-sized. It is a very not great mask. I want to say it's the worst, not going to say it's the best, but it is a good mask for World War II civilians comparatively to the other American ones. These lenses did have a tendency to pop out or come undone because they were just glued. Some variants have them sewn in, but that is uncommon. The filter has the instructions on the front, which is very good. It also had instructions in a pamphlet form that showed you how the gas mask worked, which is also very nice, so you can get familiar with how your gas mask works. The filters are replaceable, but not by civilians. The U.S. government could do it for you. Because of how it's just designed, they were made to be replaced with a face piece. That is why, down here, they say, property of the U.S. government, so after 3 hours of use or so many years of after so many months of exposure, you were supposed to turn them in and you can get new ones. But no one really did that. They kind of cap them. So that's why there's so many in America right now. So next, let's talk about a very good example of a civilian gas. This is personally a very good example of a civilian gas mask. It has the flap design, which can be prone to failure, but not very. It would close when you inhaled and expand when you exhaled. Very simple design, not that complex, so there's nothing to fail. These lenses did have a tendency to yellow over, as you can see it's doing now, but this one is not that bad. It has a shower head design, and it's also a very large base, so it would be easy to inhale. These did have asbestos, which is unfortunate, but what are you going to do? The strap design, is very basic. One big strap in the middle, and then two side straps. So it could get uncomfortable, but that's not that bad. Now, let's talk about my Japanese gas. This is my Japanese Type 99 Japanese gas mask. It is a very good mask for World War II especially. Just how it's designed, the canvas outside, and then the very smooth rubber inside, which was very, very good for long exposure. So when it's rubbing against your face, it's not abrasive, it's smooth, and less likely to give you a rash or a blister. But on that, the X-Off port is a plus and a common in my opinion. So when you're wearing it, the X-Off port would put hot air on your neck, which is not great. It can get uncomfortable after a while, but it is a removable. So you could replace the rubber X-Off valve that had a tendency to get crunchy and get bad. So that is very good that you could replace them. It is also a very good strap design. It is a 6-point harness, so it would have very good weight distribution, especially being a filter like this, a standard can filter, or I don't know what to call these type of filters, but the filter. It's a very heavy filter. It's about 1 pound, 2 pounds, and that being on your face can get heavy after a while. But in saying that, this is also a very good example of this filter. The rope still being here and the plug still being here. That is very uncommon. These plugs had a very large tendency to come undone. And also the sticker still being on the front with the rising sun and still being generally still in good condition. These had a tendency to also come undone just due to the elements. Water, heat, will tendency to have the sticker pop off or peel off, yada yada. And I'm going to pass this back to Goodman so he can talk to y'all about Vietnam. So, as always, thanks for watching.
Thank you, MS Gas Mask Collector. Now we'll move on to the Vietnam era. As we move into this era, you'll actually see some changes within the mask as chemical and biological warfare was changing as well. Right here I have a US M17 gas mask and a Type 65 gas mask. So now we'll take a look at the US M17 gas mask. This gas mask was used mainly around Vietnam, although it was used into later years. But anyways, as you can see, this mask is a cheek filter mask, meaning the filters are put inside the cheeks instead of being screwed onto the mask itself. This being a cheek filter mask actually creates a huge design flaw with it being very, very complicated to put the filters in. As you can see, the strap system is elastic, and you pull these to tighten it. You can see this mask also came with a pair of lens covers, which are different from replacement lenses, as these are just made to cover the lenses that are actually attached to the mask. This mask actually came with 2 pairs of them. One of them I have on the mask right now, and one of them still in their original bags. And lastly, the mask is carried in this green bag. But now we'll move on to the Type 65. These masks were mainly used by the Viet Cong during the Vietnam War, and are kind of hard to find. As you can see, this mask has a filter permanently attached to the side of it, with the communist star right there. The big downfall of this mask being that the filter is not removable, and it being made of rubber means it is a big waste of resource. And same with the M17, it also has electric straps with buckles to tighten it. But now on to MS Gas Mask Collector to show you some of the modern things for chemical warfare.
Thank you, Goodman, and in this part, I'll be talking about modern gas mask. First, we'll start with the Israeli M40 and then MCU2. But let's start with the Israeli. This is the Israeli. It is in general, considered a very good mask for preppers. So if you're a prepper, get this mask. It is a very light design. It's not very heavy. I would say it's about half a pound to pound. Very, very light. The X-Off port, very easy, very simple. You can remove the cover, but there's no reason to. And then it's crimped on, which will be more likely to hold. And then good field of view. And then a different variant of it does have a drinking tube. And then the filter is just a standard filter. So, now let's talk about the M40. This is my M40. In my opinion, it's one of my favorite masks to be wearing, not in my collection. But it is a really good mask. And it's also when you can get to more attachments and changing your mask to personally fit what you're trying to do. This is a VPU. It's basically a speaker on the outside, and the inside is a microphone. So you can send your voice out without having to yell or to put extra strain. You can just talk normally. And this is just a general standard filter, nothing special. But it does have a outside layer, which is interesting. A lot of these don't, they generally come with these, but a lot of masks don't have these double layered systems. It is just another layer of protection for you against gas. It also has a drinking attachment, so you can have a completely enclosed system. You don't have to take off your mask to drink. It is a relatively good drinking system. They are kind of difficult to set up, but once you do set them up, they're probably one of the best drinking systems. And yeah, so this is the M40. If you have any more questions, just ask. So next, I'm going to move to the MCU-2. This is the MCU-2. It is a military gas mask, and it has the same drinking assembly as the M40. It also has an attachment for a VPU, but it is a different assembly. You don't screw it in. You screw it in, you attach to these ports right here that go into a microphone on the inside. I do not have the microphone nor the speaker, but that is just because I don't have the money for it right now, but that is irrelevant. It also has a big field of view, like giant compared to most gas masks that are just like a single eyelet, which does bring it to some weaknesses, but it also has the hard filter, so it does add some protection versus the soft silicone lens. When we get to the inside, here you can see that it has the attachment for the microphone and a drinking straw. It is a very good mask, in my opinion. It can get a tad bit uncomfortable, but you can buy a different strap attachment, which will make it a lot more comfortable to wear. So, as always, thanks for watching, and I'm going to send this back to Goodman to finish up the video.
Thank you, MS Gas Mask Collector, for collaborating with me to make this video. And thank everyone who watched till the end. We'll see you in the next one, and have a great day. Happy collecting.